Hello everyone, and what to do? It is Thursday morning, October 16th, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm actually coming to you with a video that's not about books, that is not about poly or, polyamorous things, but this is actually about my kids and the school system, and this is a message to parents, or rather a warning, okay? So yesterday my son came home, and he has this curriculum software or website that he uses in class, and it's called Achieve 3000. And he came home a couple of days ago with a newsletter from his teacher indicating that this is something that they use in class, and that the kids like seeing their points go up when they answer the activity questions and so forth and so on. And so, for their reading, because they're supposed to do 30 minutes of reading at home, if they want to use the Achieve 3000 as their reading time at home, that she highly encourages them to do so. So I got my son's login and logged into the Reading 3000 and or Achieve 3000, and the articles came up. He has like an inbox, and the teacher puts articles or links to these articles that he's supposed to read, and then he has discussion questions. And actually, before you read the article has a statement, and it's not a question, it's a statement, and then the child is supposed to indicate whether they agree or disagree with the statement, why they agree or disagree with the statement, and then they go into the article. And so I didn't know this because I hadn't seen it before, and so I'm kind of looking around because I'm a diligent parent and I like to see how my children are learning, or the ways in which they're teaching my kids. And so there's like a strip of sunlight, whatever. Anyways, so I'm looking at the articles, and one of the articles that caught my eye was the title "An Hour a Day Keeps the Pounds Away." And so I thought that was a little peculiar, and so I was like, well, let me see what they're talking about before I basically, make a long story short, you go into the article, and so the question or the statement that they're supposed to ponder before they go into the article is, the statement says, it is more important to exercise than it is to eat right. And then the child is supposed to say whether or not they agree or disagree. Okay, well, that, number one, is the first problem. Both exercise and a healthy diet are not mutually exclusive of each other, and one is not better than the other. They're both important. So for you to make a statement and then ask the child whether they agree or disagree, I thought that was, why would you even do that? Because they're both important, you know what I mean? So I could see this is like a true or false kind of thing, but whatever. So I thought that was already, strike one. So I go in to read the article, and the article states that in Sweden, scientists analyze these kids or teens that supposedly have this gene that causes them to gain or to hold more weight than others. And they studied the teens in that class that had that gene, and the ones that exercised for 60 minutes a day or more statistically had a lower body fat and smaller waists than the teens that had the gene but did not exercise every day for 60 minutes or more. And so bottom line is, in order to stop the effects of this gene, you should be exercising at least 60 minutes a day or more. Okay, so far that sounds like a decent enough article, and then they have these discussion questions that they have to answer afterwards and whatever. Okay, this is my problem with the article. The article first states that these people that exercise for an hour a day or more, they have smaller waists and lower body fat percentage. Okay, first of all, for all of you adults out there, do any of you know a thin person that doesn't exercise? All of us can say yes. And do any of you know someone who may be a little bit on the heavier side, or they're a little stockier, but they're an active person? I'm pretty sure everybody can say yes. I don't have a problem with the school trying to instill in our youth the importance of exercise and how it's good for you, etc. But talk about exercise in the context that it's good for your body, it promotes longevity, it wards off disease, it makes you feel better, it's good for your emotional health, it's good for your mental health, it's good to be active, but do not make it about your body type. Because even if you exercise 60 minutes a day, your body type may just be a size 12. And so because you're not a size 2 or a size 4, you don't have a small waist, that does not mean that you're not healthy. And also, if you do have a small waist, that doesn't mean that you are healthy. And so I don't like that message, especially, my son is in 3rd grade. He's 8 years old. Why are we sending that message to our 3rd graders, our young children, especially impressionable young girls who are already being bombarded with messages about their body image? I don't understand why we are teaching that in our schools. So that already had me upset. I was like, Like, I was like, no, I'm going down to the school because this is unacceptable. And that is not only a message that I want given to women. I don't want that message given to our young boys, because they're going to grow up to be men. And they're going to behave in those ways. Not only that, but it also kind of fosters this sort of this inferiority of these people that have this undesirable gene that causes them to gain more weight. Hang on, let me fix my blinds because that piece of sun is driving me crazy. Ooh, there we go. Anyways, it kind of creates this mindset that people that have this gene, or people that carry more weight or have a little extra body fat than others, are almost genetically inferior. And I don't like that. So I was like, oh no. And so I began to read around, and I was like, let me look at some of these articles and stuff like that and see what they're going. And this one was the one that I was like, oh, hell no. Like, I was pissed. I was like, I'm taking my ass down to that school, and I'm about to go ham. So they have this article called The Good Germ. And the statement that they were supposed to ponder before they went into the article was, it is important to stop the spread of disease no matter what. And the child was supposed to say whether or not they agree or disagree with it. And most 8-year-old children, my own son included, if you were to ask them a question, hey little boy, hey little girl, do you think it's important to stop the spread of disease no matter what? A little 8-year-old child that has no grasp of the world, and it's a very sophisticated question. Of course they're going to say, well, the only thing that in their mind is, well, disease is bad, so yes, we should stop it. Okay, fine. So my son, he agreed with that statement. But the thing is, they're not presenting what is. They're not having these kids make an informed decision. And they have them do that before the article, so they can already set their mind up as they go into this article, which is much more nefarious. So I'm reading this article, and basically, make a long story short, the article is about it's about Asia and this disease in Asia called dengue, and it's called, or the breakbone disease, and it causes achy joints, headaches, etc., so forth and so on. And about 1 in 18 people in Asia are affected with this disease, and it's spread by mosquitoes. And there's no cure for the disease, and so doctors are working on it, but they haven't found a cure yet. And so what they're doing to kind of ward off the threat of this disease is that they're injecting mosquitoes with this Wolbachia bacteria, because I guess the Wolbachia bacteria blocks the dengue, and they're feeling like if they can stop the spread or the growth of the dengue, they can actually stop the disease. Sounds all right, but what they're doing is they're taking those mosquitoes to an island called Tri Nguyen off the coast of Vietnam. It's of about 3,500 people, and they're letting those mosquitoes bite these people to see if that stops the dengue from happening. So basically, these people, and what they had in the article, they were talking about the people and how they're letting them, the people are letting these mosquitoes bite them. They're helping the scientists. And then they even got a quote from a fisherman from that little island saying that we know that the mosquitoes here and they're going to bite us, but they stop the dengue and so we don't kill them. So basically, these indigenous, probably impoverished, uneducated people are guinea pigs for this this experimental, thing with these mosquitoes. And we're basically asking 8-year-olds to weigh in on a matter of medical ethics that it could take a room of adults hours, and we could still not come up with an answer of whether or not we felt that was medically ethical to basically experiment on human beings, and you're asking 8-year-olds to weigh in on a topic that's specific. And not only that, but you are trying to direct how they view this by starting out with that question, it is acceptable to stop the spread of disease no matter what it takes. Not presenting the whole article, not presenting what they told these people. Do these people fully grasp what is happening to them? What is the other side of the article? You're having these children make judgments with not giving them all the information, not giving them objective information. So basically what we are not encouraging is critical thinking. What we are encouraging in our schools is indoctrinated thinking. We want a result. We want you to think this way. Big Brother, anyone? 1984? So I was like, oh, fuck no. So I take my ass down to school. I went to go talk to his teacher, and I'm like, hey, Yeah, what is... I said, first of all, have you read these articles? No, she has not. She hasn't read them. Some of them she read, some of them she can't. And I don't blame her. And she told me, she said, look, I presented my argument to her. She said, look, she said, I agree with you 100%. She said, as teachers, we've lost a voice. They're pushing this Common Core curriculum on us. They're making us do this. This is what the district gives us. And we just have to fall in line so we can keep our jobs, so we don't cause a ruckus. You know, this is what they're telling us we have to do. And we don't even have the time to kind of review this. She said, because I completely agree with you. And if I was a parent, I would have a problem with it too. But this is what I have to do, because this is what they give me to do. This is what the district passes down. And I said, well, do they have a parent panel where they, you know, say these are the articles that were given, and the parents go through and they say, okay, yeah, I feel like this article is acceptable. I don't think this article is acceptable. You know, do they have that, you know, in place? She didn't know. I said, am I the only parent that's come in and complained about this? I was. And so I'm planning on talking to the principal. I'm also planning on taking this to the district. But I'm here to let y'all know that if you're not paying attention to what your kids are coming home from school with, you need to. You need to. Because they are pushing an agenda. And our children are not sophisticated enough to be able to reason and say, you know, this is what you want me to say, but that ain't how I feel. But I'm going to say this so you can know that I know what it is that you feel like you want me to know, but I'm also going to let you know that that's not how I feel and that's not how I think. You need to pay attention. You need to be aware. You need to be in your kids' homework. You really do. And I'm very upset because I could just, because she said, well, you can opt out of the program. You know, Demetrius doesn't have to do it. You can totally opt out of it. Or I can give you the articles ahead of time. You can review them and then you can pass them on. And yeah, I could stop it right there. But it's not just about my child. There are 24, 25, 26 other, you know, students in there, and they're getting these same messages. These kids are going to grow up. They're going to be our educators. They're going to be our politicians. They're going to be our voters. And we're raising robots. And they're trying to turn them into robots. And not to mention the fact that, number one, the area that I live in is predominantly socioeconomically disadvantaged. So some of these parents don't even have the education to be able to understand what is going on. We also have a large Mexican population where a lot of these parents don't even speak English, so they can't even read what's coming home. And so they have no clue the messages that are being passed on to their children. And so you need to pay attention. You need to be aware. You need to be in your kids' homework. You need to read the stuff that comes home with them. You need to look at the kind of things that they're doing, because before you know it, you're going to have these children that have these ideals and these ideologies that are completely way off. And I'm sorry, but as a parent, I feel like certain things that have to deal with social ideologies and social concepts, that is my responsibility as a parent to teach my child what I would like, the values that I would like them to have. Now, as they grow up and they see more of the world and they're able to develop and make their own opinions, you know, they can choose to eschew that or, you know, fall in line with the things that we've taught them. You know, that's their right. I don't 100% agree with everything that my mom taught me. You know, I'm able to grow up and critically think and make my own decisions. But what we need to try to avoid is saying, this is what we want you to think, because that is exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to tell our children, this is what we want you to think. They are not encouraging children to use their brains and have their brains and their thoughts be autonomous. They want you to think what it is they want you to think. And I'm sorry, but in my household, that is extremely unacceptable. And I'd like to hope that it's unacceptable in yours. So anyways, this video is 14 minutes long. Sorry so long. I gotta go. I will talk to you guys later. Comment below. Let me know what you think about it. Peace.